Hello and welcome to another episode of On the Floor with Wayne and Rob. I'm Wayne Highlander, National Sales Manager for Bona Adhesives.
And I'm Rob Johnson from Bona Training.
Rob, I am so impressed.
What's that, buddy?
I have to tell you, finally you got some notoriety here. I mean, looking at a magazine.
Uh-huh.
I'm looking at Wood Floor Business Magazine, June-July issue.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got some recognition.
Big time. Pages
I'll tell you what. Well,
44 and 48, Wayne.
All right, so let me look at them. I'm gonna read this off. Nope. 2022 Truck and Van Contest. Now keep in mind, this magazine was open to everybody in the industry, nationwide. All right, big time. To get your name in here is a winner of the 2022 Truck and Van Contest is pretty fantastic. So I looked at all. Hold on.
Okay, all right.
There's so many. I mean, best exterior graphics, best interior, most organized, all these different things, most unusual. I mean, just coolest truck. Then I get to yours, which they gave you a whole page, by the way. So
full page.
Full page. Biggest lovable disaster, Rob Johnson. That is the most hideous van I think I've ever seen in my life. Are those bullet holes?
Just read the story about her.
Yeah. Are they bullet holes is what I asked in the side of the van.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. We get a lot of hunters up where I live. Somebody might have just been, taking some shots at it.
The rust that's on that vehicle is insane. And
crazy, isn't it?
You know what I love about the picture, though? One of the pictures, there's like 4 pictures of your van, is the one of Pauline and the kids. And you got your hands. She's standing there, very elegant, very ladylike, very nice and classy looking. The kids, you can tell, raised by a nice mom. And you're standing there with your hands in your pockets, like, what? I don't care how it looks. It's my van. What are you going to say about it? So congratulations.
That picture below there, below of Peter and I.
Yeah.
That was like our Blues Brothers picture.
It looks like you both got out of prison and you're on some kind of vinyl siding scheme at Homes.
So you're looking at the top picture. That was the end of Annie's life.
That was it?
Yeah,
okay.
But if you go to page 44, you got a picture of Annie the day we bought her. Look at her.
I see
beautiful.
her.
See her?
Not much more beautiful. It's just didn't have the rust.
No, it was pretty clean. It was pretty clean when we bought her.
I can't believe how much you look like your son looks like you, rather. That's crazy.
And you see that other picture on page 44?
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm wearing the same shirt.
I think it's the same shirt you got on now. I bet it's the same shoes.
And look at the smile on Emily's face.
Well, I'm looking at the smile on your face of accomplishment. Like, I've got here, I've arrived, I'm as far as I'm going to go, and I'm confident.
Are you looking at page 44?
Well, pick a page. Every pose of yours is the same.
Yeah. Oh my God, I never realized that. I have a pose. I didn't know I had a pose.
But your van was in a movie.
Yes. My van was in a movie called Disoriented.
That's a good name. Did they look inside the van?
Yep.
I would love to.
We were working downtown and I had to go out to the truck and get something. And as I see there's a crowd of people, and then I even see a camera, like an elevated type camera or something. And they're all around my van. I mean, literally around my van. So, I started to walk towards it, and then there was like a line you couldn't get past or something. and my van was inside of that line, So I said, look, I need to get in. And he goes, right in the middle of a scene, can you give us, another few minutes? And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? You're in the middle of a scene. He goes, right. So this associate producer or associate director or whatever, he starts telling me about the movie. And I went and got Pete, and we actually watched him shoot the scene of this. It was about a kid who came from Asia, and he comes to school, and he's going to school in New York, and he's trying to get his family over here and all sorts of stuff. But there's Vanny. Vanny was the backdrop to a scene where he was delivering Chinese food, and his bike was parked there and whatever. But it was a very low cost, low budget movie.
Was he kidnapped in the van or something, or
No, no, no,
no?
no, no.
Well, I gave you a hard time, but I had a beater too at one time. Yeah. Organizing vans. So we're referencing Wood Floor Business Magazine did a great job on as they always do every month.
This really was a cool issue, and I of course, me and the kids are in it, and Pauline, so I thought it was a really cool issue. But I love what people are doing with trucks now.
Well,
There's some really great stuff.
yeah, with the graphics, talk about being able to brand yourself with the graphics that are on some of these vans and what have you. Some really cool stuff, and also the organization of some of these vans. I mean, I know Aaron Sheaves won that category, most organized van, and he tied it with another gentleman. And I'm going to butcher his name, and I apologize in advance. He's from Victoria Flooring, and his name is Tiago Gontijo. I probably just if he's listening, he's probably going, "What the hell?" I'm going to spell it because it's an honor to get this. Tiago. Last name is Gontijo. Tied for most organized van. And then Aaron Sheaves down there in Sheaves Floors in Virginia. I actually seen his van several times. In fact, I told him he should be in a magazine. He's just so organized.
Well, you can't swing a dead cat without hitting Aaron Sheaves' article someplace.
Isn't that the truth?
I mean, he was just in the NWFA magazine. I think he got an honorable mention in Wood Floor of the Year. He's in this. I mean,
Yeah,
this kid's everywhere,
yeah, yeah. He's like one of the Kardashian people.
Yeah,
Dude's everywhere.
he's everywhere.
Hmm.
How was your truck? Do you have a good organized truck?
I was in the middle of the road. Asked me on Monday. Yeah, it was organized. Asked me on Thursday. Probably not so much. Sometimes it looked like a jailbreak. I'll tell you one story. My van. I was by myself coming home from a job. It was about 8 o'clock at night. And one of these jobs, I just got to get it stained tonight. It has to be stained no matter what tonight because that keeps me on schedule. And when I got it stained, I was dead. We talked about the last episode about burnout. I was dead. I just threw the tools in the van like it was a jailbreak. They weren't. In fact, the buffer was between the two front seats, and it never belongs there. I just threw it. It was on top of cords, and I never do that. I just had to get home. Stain all over my hands, and it was only like about a 12-mile trip to get home, and it was pretty much a straight shot. But there was an S turn in the freeway, so when I went into the S turn, the buffer rocked back and hit me on the side of the head, like someone took a hammer and just smacked me in the side of the head. So I had to continue driving through the other part of the S turn. Well, I did that. The buffer had time to go all the way back and then come back again. And by this time I turned to look and see what just hit me. And it was coming back again for the second hit, dead center in the face.
Oh,
It's like, it's hard enough without the tools beating the hell out of you on the way home from the job. But it was miserable. We were pretty good about being organized because the one thing about not being organized is I don't like looking for stuff. The amount of wasted time and wasted space and not being able to find things drove me out of my mind. So, but through the hustle bustle of the day, of the week, we may, especially if you're doing multiple jobs, get disorganized, but we'd always try to stop and get it organized. So I wasn't bad. I wasn't great. about you?
Um, I think we were the middle of the road. I think we were in the middle of the road. We always tried to organize it. The one day I said to Pete, I'm going to build some shelves. I'm going to put shelves in this. We need shelves. So I'm building shelves, and Rebecca comes out, and she's probably 3 years old, and she says, What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm building bunk beds so we can go camping." And oh my God, that was just, you never saw a happier kid, right? And she's running around telling everybody what I was doing, but everybody in the family knew I was building shelves, you know. So the first night we used it, I said to Bum the next day, I go, say, hey, how'd you sleep? And he goes, I didn't sleep a wink. I'm like, really? I said, how come? He goes, there was these huge screws just
Oh,
pointing right at me. And I thought if I moved around, I was like, dude, I wish you had told me, you know.
oh, that's brutal.
It was just, it was, I felt bad for the kid. Classic though.
That's funny. Um, what was I going to say? Oh, one thing about organizing the tools and that drove me out of my mind. I mean, absolutely made us stop one time and just completely regroup. Is when you have multiple crews. Yeah, at that time I think we had 3 or 4 vans. I can't remember, but not having exactly the same cord ends. Exactly, if someone goes from van to
Oh,
van or whatever, or they take this guy's cord with that buffer and the cord ends don't
oh,
match, would drive me absolutely out of my mind. So that was a lesson learned as you grow as a company to start making it, buy everything exactly the same.
I I remember you and I talking about this, and mine wasn't the cords, mine was our hoses,
Yeah, compressor hoses.
compressor
Yeah,
hoses, to the point where I just, flipped one day. And I said, all right, that's it. We're done. We're, we're going to fix this right now, right here, right now, the rest of the afternoon. We're going to go buy new ends and fix everything. It's going to be every hose works on every gun. Because it was like, no, I can't use a black hose on the FN60, and you can't use the orange hose on that. And this one goes with the Primatech and the Boston State. And I was like, this is insanity. Or, when you're finishing up and you're using a finish nailer and a nailer, and I'd have to change hoses rather than,
drive you out of your mind.
oh my God. And I just felt so dumb. I mean, it was
Yeah.
my fault for not paying attention to it. I got a question for you.
Yep.
And I got a question for every floor guy out there. I think my biggest question about trucks: a pickup or a van?
Depends where you live.
Really?
Yeah, 100%. Because if you live in the Bay Area, you're not going to pull a trailer. You're not going to have
No,
a
no, no,
van.
no, 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 not pulling a
Oh,
trailer.
okay.
A pickup truck or a van?
For me, it's 100% a van. I don't know how you can work out of a pickup truck.
Uh, I completely, we agree. Absolutely. And Bum always worked out of a pickup truck. Could never understand why I worked out of a van. And I was like, you can't be serious.
Yeah, I don't know how you do. I'm sure guys do, but I don't know how you could. Especially why we carried everything for all the jobs, every tool imaginable, and that wouldn't work out of a pickup truck.
Yeah, we had to too. I mean, being raised at what I did, with the family, working the way we did with the family. I mean, we'd pack up on Sunday night and, not come home till Friday night or Saturday. So staying in hotels, really traveling around, we had no chance to get back to the warehouse. When you left Monday, you better have everything: paper, finish, material, everything.
Well, and that's what a very well organized van will help you do too, is that you're making less trips to the store, right? You actually have everything you need in the van. You can fit stuff in there. And it's amazing how much you can fit in there when it's organized versus when it's disorganized. And what it also did is it taught me that, when I worked with old timers as a carpenter, like you don't share tools. You don't, you have your own tool or that's it. I mean, you don't never share tools. And it's a great lesson, and I believe in that because same thing with a van. If this guy's got my hammer, this guy's got my saw, this guy's got this, that, and the other, it's just a chaos in the making. So if everybody has their own tools, organizes their own stuff, and it makes life so much easier. I have a great friend, a really good friend. We're both carpenters together. We were both apprentices in the carpenters union, and we were on a job one time. The first way I met him was, I think it was like his first couple days. He came over to me and asked me if I had a chamfer saw. Well, if you pour concrete, if you're a carpenter and you do a lot of concrete forms, you use chamfer saws, and you just got to have them. And he came up to me and he asked me if he could borrow my chamfer saw. He's about the same age as me. We were both 20-year-old kids. And I said to him, "Where's yours?" Now, I knew that was a dick move. Like, I knew it was like something like a 35-year-old carpenter would have told him the same thing. But I said, "Where's yours?" And he gave me that look like, just let me borrow your chamfer.
You gonna help me or what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
All right. Now I gotta. What's a chamfer saw?
okay.
I thought I knew every tool.
Picture a back saw, but it's like really small. And when you do pouring concrete, a chamfer is something you put around the edge of the forms. So when you release the concrete, it gives it like a 45 profile, like a smaller angled profile, and it also helps the finisher finish to a certain point on the form. So the form might come up, say 3 feet high, but you only want to pour concrete. You shoot a level grade on less than that, and you put the chamfer on there, and that's where he pours the concrete to. The finisher will finish it on that. So I can't believe how that just all came back to me real quick.
Wow, crazy, huh?
So the guy asked me if he could borrow my chamfer saw, and I, like I said, "Where's yours?" So that's how our first introduction to our friendship. Our second one was later that day. He was telling me that his brother boxed in the Golden Gloves, and he won the Golden Gloves boxing champion. And I said, "What weight class did your brother box in?" Because I don't remember him, is what I said. And
man, you were just a hard ass back then, huh?
Yeah. Now I'm messing with the guy because you see him and maybe he'll be on the next job, maybe you won't, whatever. And he goes, he fought in the 178s or whatever. I can't remember the class. I said, "I fought that same weight class, man. I do not remember your brother." And he goes, "Really?" I go, "Yeah." Next day, after work, he brings his brother.
Oh,
that's what I said. So John Bucciolato is his name. His brother, who's a Golden Gloves boxing champion. His brother Paul, I work with, still great friends with him all today. So he brings his brother back after work, and his brother's sizing me up. Like, I don't know if I don't remember this guy. And I'm looking at this guy, and I'm thinking, not a chance in hell I'm going to fight this guy. So, and after I got to know him more, I was like, thank God in heaven I didn't fight this guy.
I was San Francisco Golden Gloves. You must have been Oakland Golden.
Oh, what chapter were you in?
Yes. Yeah, yes. There you go. Yeah, start dancing.
Ours wasn't actually physical.
I was in Oklahoma.
Yeah, yes. You thought I said boxing. Oh my. Baking is what I said. So anyhow, great friends of mine today to this day, and then he went on to be a phenomenal carpenter. I mean, holy smokes, great carpenter. But anyhow, not sharing tools, I think, is a lesson I learned out of having disorganized vans and having multiple crews. And sometimes you don't find these growing pains until your business is growing, and you have to stop and do a reset and go, all right, well, what challenges are we facing? And this isn't included in this topic, I guess, but that's where I think it's good to have a meeting every 2 weeks or whatever, every month, and everybody sit down at a pizza place and write down, how can we get better? What do we need to do to get better? And one thing we all, I worked with my brothers, we all realize we're doing something wrong here. How do we figure this out? So we're all on the same page. Those conveyor belts, like you go through the airport and they have rollers on them?
Yeah.
like okay, so I wanted to organize my van one time, and I bought two of those, right? And then I put a shelf on them, and then I built a box over top of them. And one of them, I could put my table saw in, my chop saw, and the nice thing about it, they slid. They slid inside. I could
Oh,
store
that's
them.
nice. Yeah.
Well, that's what I thought. And on top of that was like another layer of shelves that you could put other stuff. So it freed up a lot of room in the van. As we got older, and I bought another van, and I told my brother Doug, I said, all right, from now on, you're going to have this van. He goes, I don't want that van. I'm not driving that van. I go, why? He goes, I don't like them stupid boxes in the backs with that rollers that you have. And I showed him, I said, look, I mean, how you can't get any nicer than this. All
How
your
awesome
tools.
is that? Yeah.
Yeah. The problem is that if you're working in the city or whatever, and you have to pull those out, they require another 8 feet behind you. So if there's a
Uh,
yeah. So if there's a car back there, now you can't open them.
no, you
You know what
can't
I
get
mean?
in.
Now you can't get in them. I didn't anticipate that being a problem when I built it and tried to pawn it
Mm,
off on him. So anyhow, learning, growing pains, right?
yeah. You know what? I'm looking at my full page story here, and that bottom picture of Peter and I. You see that dent in the fender? I know it's hard to see with all the rust, but you see the dent right near the license plate heading towards the driver's side?
We'll get to it. Let me get past all the nice fans in the article. Yes, right in the middle of the van.
Yes.
Yeah.
See that dent?
Yep.
That happened during a snowstorm. That was the night Vanny saved my life. I'm in a snowstorm,
Mhm.
and I'm going down a main road. It wasn't a highway, but it was a big main road. And I'm probably going around 50 miles an hour. Maybe in a snowstorm, might have been a little fast, but I had all the equipment in there, so I was bogged down pretty good.
First surprise is that van would do 50 miles an hour, but
Let me tell you something, brother.
continue.
That Vanny had a 350 in her. Okay,
Mhm.
she was nothing but power and speed.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Well, anyways, a car starts to go up a hill that was like at an intersection, and in the middle of the snowstorm, can't make it up the hill. Comes down the hill in reverse.
Mm.
I got nowhere to go. I mean, I hit. I'll never forget. It was a Monte Carlo, probably like a '98 Monte Carlo. Remember, they were the smaller Monte
Yeah.
Carlos.
Mm-hmm.
I hit that car, and I thought Vanny's motor was going to be in my lap. I thought it was just everything, right? She starts bouncing around. Her car is bouncing around, completely totaled, bouncing around off of guardrails, like ba bum, ba bum, 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 like that. I think Vanny's totaled. The crazy part was everything in the truck came forward. I
Yeah.
mean, everything.
Mm.
We had 2 buckets of poly there. I mean, it was, you can imagine, right? Everything everywhere. I get out of the car expecting Vanny to be totaled, and that's all that happened.
Is that right?
That was it. It was a beast. That's the only thing that happened. And her Monte Carlo was, it looked like she was hit by 4 people because it kept bouncing around.
Wow.
Every side of the car was wrecked.
That horrible story might actually have a very positive aspect to it.
I lived. It's a great story. Vanny
Aside
saved my life.
aside from that, um, a lot of vans have the protection between the drivers and what's behind them. And you get in a pretty serious accident. Yes, you got to look forward what's coming at you, but then you got to worry about what's coming behind you. You know what I
Yes.
mean? And nothing like a compressor coming 50 miles an hour at your head. So I'm glad you told that story. I was just joking. It's pretty funny. But I'm glad you told that story because that is a pretty good safety thing to have in the vans. I mean, to have some equipment come flying at you in an accident, a chamfer
Yeah,
saw.
the driver passenger cage.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Well, I
So
didn't have one in there.
no, I clearly I I can see that.
We didn't have one in there, but
Hmm.
what we did have in there was, since we were using it for camping and everything, it was only a 2-seater, so I put a bench seat in there,
Hmm.
drilling holes right through, securing it to the frame. I mean, we put a bench seat in,
Wow.
and everything hit the bench seat. Now with that bench seat, it had 3 seat belts, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is perfect." 3 seat belts, 3 kids, everybody's safe when we go on our trips. Bum seatbelt didn't work.
Yeah.
So I used to, this is how I know I'm father of the year. I used to tie it in a knot. And every time I'd look at Paulie and go, I'm sorry, I forgot to get this fix this seatbelt, but I'll take care of it. But I would tie it in a knot.
Wow. Wow. You're why advances in automobiles has happened.
Yes.
Can you
Yeah,
imagine
you can
if a
thank me.
you imagine if a police officer saw that today?
Yeah. Yeah, they take away the kids.
All right. Um,
Most unusual. I always loved that. I love that. I wish I had done that. I wanted to do something like that.
I think it's a great idea, and I think we should mention some of these names here. Most unusual looks like an ambulance. The floor doctors in Des Moines, Iowa. Des Moines, Iowa. That's a awesome looking vehicle.
The dude even dresses like a doctor.
Yeah,
And what a truck. What a nice truck to work out. A lot of
it's
headroom.
yeah.
Perfect, man.
Most reflective vehicle, Denny Minai. I'm sorry about that. Daniel Minai, Minei, but he's with Minai Hardwood Floors out of Hawaii. That is a stunning looking vehicle. Best journeyman vehicle, David Friedland, Friedland Hardwood Floors in Winter Park, Florida. I love the best vintage ride, Larry Blodjett's floor covering in Lafayette, California. I love that.
That's awesome.
Uh, Best Viking inspired land ship, Clint Vanette, Nordic flooring in Littleton, Colorado. Here's know this guy well. He's a great craftsman. Best mountain graphics, Jorge Perez in Epic Hardwood Floors in Tacoma, Washington.
You know him?
Yeah, he's a real good floor man. You know what? There's too many to mention. There's a lot to mention in the show here, but
You
there's
know
some.
that one right under Best Mountain Graphics? I don't know why more cars aren't that color. I love that matte, that black matte. I think
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
yeah.
Now there's some guys on the next pages that I know.
You trained a lot of these guys.
Yeah. Yep.
Huh. Very cool. Very cool.
Best first impression. Can you read that?
That's first impression.
The
The
flooring
Florida
guy.
guy, Durango, Colorado. Yep.
No, I don't know him.
Okay. Well, let's not go through all of them.
Well, wait a minute. We got to go through a couple. This
Okay.
one here, most badass truck.
Yeah.
I trained him and his crew up in Massachusetts last year. I think it was last year or 2 years ago.
Hmm.
And we went outside. I go, hey, let's take a picture of you guys with your around your truck and everything. And I can't believe that he won most badass truck, because when I saw his truck, I go, that's one of the most badass looking trucks I've ever seen in my life.
No kidding.
And now he wins for badass trucks.
Wow. Very cool.
Jonathan at GQ Hardwood Floors.
Hmm.
Next one down, biggest wave, Adam
Oh yeah.
Vissy. He came
Yep.
to a training of ours in Jersey. Know Adam
He's
very well.
very great company, great guy. I mean, super good company, man. I'm going to hit on a couple of them. Then I'm just going to have to touch on this because these are great people. Angus Hardwood Flooring in Angus, Alberta, Canada. Super good people. And then I have to touch on one more. Best interior on the exterior. Is Cesar Cordona Flooring in Stamford, Connecticut. So there you go.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Cesar Cordona. We trained him and his whole crew
Huh.
came.
Oh, okay. We can't mention them all. Sorry about that. So I wanted to say when you first started talking about vans, I was going to say something about, how important it is for them to be presentable and this type of thing, and how, everything, matters to the clients. And then I saw your van on there and how unpresentable it was and how successful you are. So
Thank you.
it makes me want to say we all start somewhere, right? You know what I mean? And
Yes,
so we may not have the sexiest looking vehicle and what have you. We may not have all these fancy things yet, right? So for anybody that doesn't fit those categories, I think you're a great example of where you start and where you finish.
I'm glad you said that because I thought our van added to the charm of our company. We're
God no.
new, just getting out there on our own. Look at these guys, scraping and putting it together, right? That's what I thought. It gave us a little bit of charm.
Huh.
Oh, that's
Okay.
what I thought. It doesn't
Well,
mean I was right.
you got to tell yourself that too at the beginning. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Yeah. Because
Yeah.
there's nothing
Maybe
charming
once
about.
we're 10 years into it, we should have,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Changed up.
yeah, maybe got to an. Um, you know what else about these vans too is what a great source of advertising. I mean, the wraps and the graphics and everything that people are using now. I mean, it's just outstanding. We had a guy come to one of our schools, Delgatti Floors. I think he won best wrap last year. And his truck, just awesome, awesome looking truck. One other thing I'd like to say about Delgatti's, they recently had their power drive stolen
Oh no.
from a job site.
You kidding
Yeah,
me?
no, and he's huge power drive, and I think Jeff Alfredo has given him one to hold him over till. But I just wanted to mention on the show, if anybody hears of a power drive for sale someplace, and maybe they don't know what they have, I'm thinking that they took the power drive thinking they were just grabbing a buffer and not realizing that it was a power drive. So keep your eyes out. He's from Jersey. Just all the listeners, keep your eyes out for somebody who's might be selling a power drive on the black market who doesn't know what they have.
Yeah. Yeah. Good point. I hate to hear that.
Yeah, I'd love to find that and get that back to him.
Yep. Um. What was I going to say? Oh, so you
My
said advertising. So you said advertising.
yes.
That's a good call. It's a driving billboard down the road, right?
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and if that driving billboard can put a smile on somebody's face, they'll remember it even better.
Yeah, if you're going to do that with like a lot of marketing, there's ways to do that and not do that. You ever seen a van that's so busy you don't know what the hell they do or where to get the number?
Yes.
And
Yes.
I was like, I don't know what you do or how to get in touch with you because there's
Where's your phone number? Right. You
from
or when you can't read it,
yeah,
they put beige on white or something. And you're like,
yeah,
what? I
yeah,
can't.
yeah,
I'd love to give you a call, but
yeah. I
that's why I'm cutting you off and blowing my horn at you. I can't read a damn thing on your truck.
Yes, yes, very true. So there's ways to go about that. There's companies that design those things that do a good job, so they're more user friendly and what have you. But great way to brand yourself, and I think money well spent. So not a bad way to go. Also, if your van is not that fancy or the paint job, whatever, you can just buy a wrap, right? Cover all that up again.
If they had had wraps when I was driving Vanny, things could be different.
I don't think so.
I probably would have had a floor of the year.
Really?
Uh,
Hmm. I
yeah.
mean, I don't know if it goes over rust and dents and dings and whatever. I mean, they say you can't put lipstick on a pig. That was a pretty rough looking man there, but
My kids, Pauline and the kids were a little pissed at the name of that article too.
yeah.
Yeah, biggest lovable disaster. They
They were
were like
talking about
disaster, but
Did you know they were talking about the van?
well, that's funny you say it like that because Jeff Alfredo sent me. He saw the Alfredo from our TM up in Jersey, and he saw the article and sent me a text, and he goes, "Are they talking about you or the van?" And I was like, "Oh, that's pretty funny." I know that's exactly where you were going to.
All right, Rob. Well, yeah, hey, look, congratulations. Right? I mean, they
Thank
say
you very much.
all publicity is good publicity for lovable disaster
Biggest lovable disaster.
2022. Well,
You know, I saw that it said send in your photos for Van of the Year contest, and I completely sent it in as an absolute joke.
no kidding.
Yeah, a
Wow.
100% joke. I just thought the people at Wood Floor Business would see that picture and have a chuckle.
Uh-huh.
And then the guy calls me and he says, "Do you have more pictures of that van? And is there a
Wow.
story behind that van?" And I said, "Is there a story?" Yeah, I go, "There's a damn movie behind that truck."
Mm-hmm. Just quickly, when you got rid of that, what did you go to after that?
A blue vanny.
So, okay.
Yeah,
Um,
and it was strange because the next vanny we had was blue. I swear it was blue with a white stripe and not green, but it had window. It was a Chevy, I think almost the same year, but it had windows. You know, it was all windows all around, so
oh,
it was a little bit brighter. You know,
yeah. Okay. So it wasn't meant to be a work van if it had windows all the way around then, right?
no,
Yeah, because you could reach, you could see what's in there and steal stuff. So you wouldn't normally do that.
you know where we live, you just don't
Yeah.
run into that kind of thing.
Okay. All right. Like, listen, I'm not judging. Okay. Rob, thank you very much. Again, congratulations. And to our listeners, thank you as well. And appreciate your listenership. And this has been another episode of On the Floor with Wayne and Rob. Please stay tuned for another episode.